Yo, Travelshortcuts, what's good? What's good, man? Um, I'm pleased to announce that I'm starting this new series. It's just like a little podcast thing. I'm really thrilled to do it in this platform on this second channel because it's not my main channel, so I can pretty much get away with everything in it. So yeah, just kind of reminisce and talk about stories, my shared experiences. This is sort of like a podcast. It's not for everyone's cup of tea. If you want to watch this at a later date, then kumbaya. But if you're here witnessing, and you want to ask me questions as well, great. I'm not expecting anyone to be viewing this because this is my second channel. However, I'm gonna go and roll the dice and see what happens. So there you go. I lived in Thailand for a year, pretty much, in Surin. And it was good experiences, man. I mean, I linked up with Barbara World TV, and he gave me a delicate question. He said, "Mate, you've been traveling for a while, right?" I said, "Yeah." You've been to over 20 countries, right? I said, "Yeah, mate." He said, "What's the best country? What's the number one country your highlight that you prefer?" And I told him from the beginning, it's Thailand, like hands down. So for this installment, I'm just gonna talk about a bloke I met in Thailand, and I felt that he needs he needs an honourable mention because he has a fascinating tale and story and background. When I was in Thailand, I met a bloke. I even forgot his bloody name. That's how crazy it is. Let's just call him Johnny. Johnny. He's from South Africa, and he was an Afrikaan. Afrikaans are the white South Africans. So he was a Caucasian South African, and he was residing in Thailand, working at a school teaching English. So I met with him. Like I used to pass him around. Like I used to pass, like because I was teaching English as well in Thailand. So I used to go past him. This was like 2012, and we used to just walk past each other, but we never said anything. And I don't know why, but end of the year, I think I walked past him and he said hello once, and I was like, "All right, cool, mate." And we just hit it off. He said, "Where you from?" I said, "Oh, boom, boom, London, England, boom, boom." And then I asked him, "Where is he from?" He said, "He's stuff," and we just hit it off. And chemistry was there. We just got on well. Cool bros in the middle of nowhere. You know, uh, bloody foreigners in tropical paradise of Thailand, and we were just surviving. And we met each other. We hit it off, and we started speaking, and we just sparked, man. We just became bros. And it's weird because I'm not gonna lie, this bloke had negative energy. I will admit that. Like when you see, when you walk past people or you come across people and you just sense this kind of aura. Okay, this guy gives out a positive aura, or this guy gives out a negative aura. This bloke gave out nothing but negative auras, and and every time when I will speak to him and I introduce him to my friends, they'll be like, "Oh," like half-heartedly, like, "Oh, okay." And then I hear so much, "Oh, this guy scares me. Oh, he has negative energy. Oh, he looks like a serial killer." Because he had this piercing eyes. He had this look that he'll look at you and he'll pierce through your soul kind of thing. But for me, he was just a cool bloke. That's how I saw it. He was just a cool bloke that I met in bloody Thailand, and we just got on well. And I think what really hit home was when I brought him to my friend's salon. My friend, English bloke residing in Thailand. He had a girlfriend that had her own business, a salon, a hair salon. And she used to cut my hair because she knew how to cut the hair of black people, right? Afro hair. She knew how to cut that. So I used to go and cut my hair there, and she done everything. So I talked to the bloke, mate. Like the bloke was like, "Oh, I need to get my hair cut," and I said, "Okay, I know a place, and I need to get my hair cut, so we can both, kill two birds with one stone. We can both go there and get ourselves sorted." So the bloke was like, all right, cool, let's go there, mate. And I went there, and literally he sat down, and the girl that normally cuts the hair on my hair, she's a mouthy, she was a mouthy one. She normally talks a lot of shish and red and loves a nice little chin wag. And in this particular moment, she wasn't saying much. She was very silent and particular. And I didn't guess, but something told me, don't ask her why she's like that. Ask her after. So she cut the bloke's hair. She cut my hair. And then I went up to her and I said, what's going on? Like, you're normally all mouthy and shit. Like, why are you so quiet right now? And then she told me, your friend has has a bad energy resonating from him. And I don't feel comfortable when I'm next to him. And I was like, wow. And I was like, you're like the 100th person that's told me that. But you know my style. I don't judge a book by its cover. I like to give God's grace and give people a platform to prove me wrong. So he was one of them guys, that's a bit funny. And yeah, we just used to just go out, me and Johnny, go out, go for a little boozer, have a couple, and just reminisce. And this bloke's been through hell and back, mate. He's been to prison, came back from prison. He tried to reform himself with dignity, failed attempt. And I don't know how, but he just ended up in bloody Thailand teaching English at a school over there for peanuts. But peanuts in terms of our US and UK currency. But in terms of looking at the Thai currency, it's relevantly decent and possible. So I remember there was a distinctive moment where I went out drinking with him. And we were just talking about so much shit like conspiracy theories, life, meaning of life, karma, life after death, you name it. Deep subjects. And then he touched on, I don't know why, but he touched on the bloke that invented the atomic bomb. And one of the famous quotes is, I created death. And then we kind of had a healthy discussion about that, like knowing that you created something that has affected the world so much that will never be the same. And we're living in an era with COVID and the pandemic, all this rot, all this bullshit. And I just think about that, like introducing something to the world that can make the world, will shape the world in a certain way that it will never ever be the same. Like the bloke that created the atomic bomb and said, I created death. That atomic bomb has gone on to influence so many other missiles and weapons of mass destruction. And just living in a world where we're now like in COVID, fucking face masks, all of this crap. And you're just knowing that even if COVID leaves, even if tomorrow they turn around and say, okay, there's no more COVID in the world will never be the same. Because there will always be paranormal, there will always be people who are hesitant to face the reality. Always paranoia, always. And that would, the world will never be the same after COVID. And that makes me reminds me of that. And this bloke, honestly, he used to walk up, he used to tread around, like, he used to have a little bicycle and he used to be around, like, up and down, like, where's Wally? And I remember one day just speaking to him and I was like, yo, mate, what's going on? And this guy, like, I was so fascinated by him because he didn't have no jurisdiction. He didn't have no limit. He didn't have no censorship. It was just him doing whatever he bloody wanted to do or what he willed it to do. And yeah, I would talk to him. I was like, oh yeah, what you got plans? Like, you planning on like staying in time? You planning on going back? And he's like, hey, look, I'm here for now. And I think this guy is the perfect definition of living for today and worry about tomorrow. You know, that one of my best friends used to always say, Mara Wines. He used to say, money for you today, money for you tomorrow. Money comes and goes, bro. Money comes and goes. You can have money today, you can lose it tomorrow. You can have no money today, you can make it tomorrow. Money comes and goes. Money for you today, money for you tomorrow. And he used to always say, I'll be in love with you today, and I'll be in love with you tomorrow. Girls come and go. Same thing. You'll be in love with one today, and then you think she's the only one for you. Whether you break up, you're still together, and then tomorrow you see someone else, and guess what? You're in love with them. Money for you today, money is for you tomorrow. Money comes and goes, bro. I'll be in love with you today, I'll be in love with you tomorrow. Girls come and go, bro. So that's all it is. And that guy reminded me of that. He was just living life for him, day by day. That's how we pretty much got on, you know. And he was hammered, mate. I believe I'm fast forwarding this story heavily, but I recall like a day whereby we were out drinking and this bloke got hammered, and he told me he's gonna have to go soon to back to South Africa because he has some family issues to attend to and to sort out. And I was like, all right, cool. And then he told me, if you want, you can keep my bicycle. You know, I'm gonna go back. I don't need it because he used to have this bloody bicycle. I used to cycle around. So I was like, all right, cool, no problem. And it was the last night, getting a bit emotional, just remembering it. Not like emotional teary, but just like memories, man. Like, wow, like I've done so much in my life. And, you know, I've met people that have just been in one place for the rest of their life. They've never not even gone toured around the continent, you know, but they haven't even been around the world, man. And I've just been fortunate to experience all these events. So the bloke, like his last night with me, he was like, all right, I have my bicycle, you know, I'm gonna go soon. He didn't tell me when he's gonna go, but he just told me I'm gonna go soon. And we drank a lot, and in Thailand it's weird because normally they have this drink, cheap whiskey called Hong Kong, and yeah, it'll get you messed up, mate. Honestly, it will hit you differently. And this bloke, he was drinking that, and I was drinking it with him, and he got messed up, mate. Like, literally, like he couldn't even walk out of the bloody bar, and I had to like, like put his arm around me and kind of carry him out. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, he was hammered, absolutely hammered. You know, and I was like, like I knew roughly where he lived, but I wasn't sure. So I kind of like dragged him near to where I thought he lived, and I was like, okay, where'd you live? And he's like, you know what I mean? So I'm like, come on, where'd you live? So I'm like, all right, cool. So I thought I had my bearings and I thought I knew where he lived. So I tried to walk with him to where I thought he lived. And we didn't make it anywhere, and I got lost, and he just ended up like just hammered like eh. So at the end I was like, you know what? It's like dragging a dead horse right now when I'm with you. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna leave you here and I'm gonna go out and try and find out where you live. So I just took his arm out and I dashed him on the side. And the guy hit him on the side in the grass. He literally lay there like it was Jesus Christ on the grass like that. And I was like, all right, mate, I'm gonna leave you in this grass. Actually, I'm cutting the story. He actually tried to get on the bicycle, his bicycle, and he ended up he ended up tumbling down really, really painfully. And he just lay down like he was Jesus Christ like that on the grass because we were near some bushes. And I was like, all right, mate, we're not getting anywhere close with you, like me dragging your body around like you're some dead corpse. So what I'll do is I'm gonna leave you here. You don't have no valuables, right? He's like, all right, cool. I'm gonna leave you here, and I'm gonna look for your house because I remember when I kind of knew where it was because I've been to his house before. I didn't remember it, bro. So I left him there on the grass like he's Jesus Christ, the fourth coming, and I just ventured off, and I found his house. Eventually, like I got lost. Brandy's just on a couple of wild dogs, bastards. But yeah, managed to find the bloke's house. I went in. Well, he lived in like a hotel apartment block, kind of like a motel, if you know what I mean. So he lived there, and I managed to find it. I'm like, all right, cool, it's there. But mate, it took a while. It took like a good 30 minutes to find it. Even though it was like 6 minutes away, but where I was, it was like a maze. You go in one way, you come out the other. So you can easily and everything looks the bloody same. So you can easily get lost over there. But I managed to find the bloke's house, and I went back and I got the bloke, and I was like, all right, mate, found your house now. It's over there. And obviously he didn't hear whatever I said because he was hammered. So I managed to obviously had to carry him pretty much. So I'm carrying him like I got his arm over me, and I'm picking him up while walking, and I'm holding his bloody bicycle. Can you imagine that? And we get to the house, finally, the motel, whatever you want to call it, after a good 15 minutes. I mean, it was 6 minutes away, but carrying the bloke, and he was a heavy blob, bald head, skinhead, bushy eyebrows, white guy, South African, kind of chubby, he was a heavy bloke. And, I got into the house, and I remember, I said, where's your keys? So I had to go through his pockets. I managed to find his keys, unlock the door of his apartment, because I remember roughly where the door was, because I've been to this place before. Put him in the house, put him on the bed, and just told him, bro, come on, if you need me, call me, whatever. And he's like, oh, thank you. And he hugged me, like, oh, thank you, thank you, man. And yeah, bro, and I left him. And I think I left him for 2 days because I was busy because I was working in Thailand, of course. So I think I left him for 2 or 3 days, if I'm not mistaken. 2 or 3 days, and I mean, it's emotional, man. It's not emotion like you want to cry and shit, but it's more emotional like you meet someone that you bond with, bro. Like your broski, your bro, and you're from somewhere else, and he's from somewhere else. Male, female, whatever you want to call it. And I went back, and the reception guy, 3 days later, I went back and I went to check up on him because I haven't heard from him. I tried to call him, his number ain't going through or whatnot. His Thailand number ain't going through. So I went back and I spoke to the receptionist, like, oh, what's going on? What's my mate? And she was like, I don't know, it was weird. It was lost in translation because I lost a bit. They spoke just Thai. They didn't speak zero English, right? So I was just trying to speak to them, and they just didn't understand anything I was saying. But it was kind of lost in translation. But what I interpreted was that he was out, but he'll be back shortly. So I'm like, all right, cool. And I left, and I done my thing. And then again, 2-3 days gone by, I didn't hear from him. But I used to always see the bicycle outside his place. And the bicycle had the key inside. And that's the thing. Thailand's very, if you're in these, obviously if you're in Pattaya, Bangkok, these big cities, Patong, Phuket, you're going to come across stuff, But when you're in these small kind of towns like Surin, where it was called Surin, Surin, in Thailand, no one will touch whatever you have, man. It's like it's not worth it. They don't really need it. They respect it. And he had a bicycle with the key inside. And I used to always see it. I went to his place like 2 or 3 times, and oh, he's not here. Oh, he's not here. And I used to always see the bicycle, and the bicycle was always in the same place. And I don't know what happened, but one day I just woke up and I realized that I remembered, sorry, that he told me that he was going away. Um, just quickly, if you are seeing this stream, maybe you're watching it at a different time or whatever, just like it, man. Like it. Subscribe to the channel. This is just me. This channel will be me. It's Travel Shortcuts XL. I'm gonna be uploading stuff that I don't really want to put on my main channel. So some videos I don't really want to put on my main channel. And obviously this new installment will be me talking about my travel experience and stories, my highlights, my travel highlights, acquaintances, people I've met that I feel that they need an honorable mention. So, and also maybe encounter with them as well. Like if he's listening, maybe he can reach out to me and we'll chop it up and maybe we'll meet out in the future. People that I'm not in contact with and I want to stay in contact with, and maybe if they manage to get this recording, they can reach out to me or whatnot. So when I was going back to Johnny's house, motel, whatever you want to call it, I realized that the bloke, his bicycle was always there in the same place. So I already grew suspicious, like, okay, cool. And then I remembered, wait, he told me he had to go home soon because of a family emergency. Things went well and stuff, but I just didn't know how soon it was. So then I put two and two together and found that he actually had left, without a trace. Like he went back to South Africa. So I went back to the hotel and I spoke to them, and they were speaking to me in like fully Thai. And I was like, I spoke decent Thai at the time and I comprehended a bit so I could understand, and I put two and two together. And then I realized that they were actually saying he's not here, he's gone, not for temporary, but for good, and that he's no longer here anymore. And I got that because I asked them, what about his room number, which was 12, I believe, room 12. And then they're like, oh, no, room 12, back. And I'm like, oh, like in broken Thai, like he left. And he's like, yeah. It's like, oh. He left, man. Johnny. Very misunderstood, very misunderstood. Like he had this intimidate. I will admit he came across as very intimidating. He had this negative aura, very dark aura about him, energy. But he was a cool bloke, mate. He was a cool bloke. We spoke. We understood each other. I'm black from the UK, Portuguese, African descent, totally different remix. And he was a white South African from the Netherlands descent, from the Holland descent. And we just got on, we just bonded, man. And it's weird because when you're talking to someone and you're with them, you really don't know if it's going to be your last time to be with them and to say bye. And even though he told me he's leaving and stuff, I didn't know that was the last time where I helped him to get back home safely. I done it on, like, I didn't rob him. Not that I need the money, but I didn't rob him. I didn't just leave him like a drunk idiot in a bar. I made sure he got home safe. I literally picked him up and carried him, like 30 minutes to his house. And that's because we got lost on the way. And I didn't know that was going to be the last time that I saw him. Cool bloke, Johnny. You know, cool bloke. And I think that's the thing that I need to make a separate video about this. But I remember when I watched, I didn't watch, but I saw a guy, a YouTuber, I forgot his name. He made it. He has a channel. He's doing good stuff as well, and he made it. He made a video like they don't tell you about traveling, the negative what they do, and this is part of the. This is what they don't tell you about traveling is amazing, great people you meet that you will never see again. You know, and like I said, this ain't like a teary moment where I'm crying or whatever, but inside, like I'm feeling it because this is a great guy, man. Great, cool ass dude, bro. Cool guy, bro. And he was so misunderstood, so misunderstood in the world, and no one would give him a chance because everyone's like, okay, he looks intimidating, rare tear. He looks like a serial killer. But when you got to know him and you bond with him and you socialize with him, and look, racism, where does it come from? Preconceived notions. We look at someone like, okay, he's black, he's this, he's that. Oh, he's white. Oh, he's Jewish. Oh, he's from Pakistan. Oh, he's Muslim. All these preconceived notions that we tend to judge without actually comprehending and understanding each other first. And I didn't judge the bloke. Instead, I gave him an opportunity to prove me wrong. Because when I looked at him, I was like, okay, this guy looks a bit funny. But it's all right. I give him a chance. And the bloke proved me wrong. And he ended up bonding him like he's probably my top 10 people that I've bonded, top 5, sorry, that I've bonded throughout my life. And I wasn't thinking about him praising me or whatever. I just done something that any human would do for a good friend, a good mate. I saw that he was fucked up. Sorry about the language. And I picked him up and I ensured that he got home safely. And he said, oh, thank you. He gave me a hug, oh, thank you, church hug space. And I didn't know that was the last time I was going to see him again, mate. Good bloke, man. So yeah, when I realized that he had left the motel to speak to the receptionist, I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna take his bike because he told me that I can have his bike, and I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. So yeah, I took his bike and I started riding it a little bit, and then things happened in England, and I had to go back to England. It was the end of my contract. The school asked me to renew. They wanted me to stay, but I wanted to leave and pursue different endeavors. And rather than selling the bike, I bumped into another foreign guy. I think he's on my Facebook page. I forgot his name anyway. Vowels or whatever your name is, mate. And I bumped into a foreign guy, and we hit off chatting away, And he said he's gonna live here. He loves Thailand. And I told him, mate, I have a bicycle. I'm gonna go back to England. I don't need it, and I don't want to sell it because a good friend gave me that bicycle. So I want to pass it on to you on one condition. And he's like, all right, mate, what is it? Obviously, I can't verify if he has complied with this condition. But I had one condition, and that was for him not to sell it. But for after he finishes his usage with it, to pass it on to someone else. So I can continue that legacy of that bloke. Continue his legacy, that he left behind. Don't sell it, but pass it on. And Johnny, I just wanted to continue Johnny's memory. And he said, all right, cool. And I gave him the bike with the key, and he went off. That's what I don't tell you about traveling. This video is coming up to 30 minutes, so we're gonna wrap it up now. This is the tale of Johnny. But that's what I don't tell you about traveling is, especially when you travel the world, you meet so many cool ass people that and you'll never see again. That's the thing they don't tell you about traveling. You build so many good relationships with people, and you go your separate ways. That's what I don't tell you about traveling. Especially good people, cool ass people you bundle like this. And this applies for everything, whether it's male, female. I say more as friends, acquaintances, rather than like a girlfriend or boyfriend. You meet so many cool people that you just bumble, you click with another a brother from another mother, and then at the end of the night, the day, the time of your contract, you go your separate ways, and that's what they don't tell you about traveling. It's a positive because you go somewhere, you meet someone, you bond with them, cool ass dude. However, it's also a negative because you leave them behind and you go your way and they go their way. And I think that's what I also experienced with teaching, but that's for another video. Is like teaching English in a foreign country, building a relationship with the kids. It's almost like they're your kids, and then at the end of your contract, um, depending on external influences, family, girlfriend, country, society, culture shock, whatever ideologies, you have to say bye. How are you gonna leave your son behind? How? And then not knowing how they're progressing in life, and that's my dilemma as well that I experienced when I was teaching. Is you're teaching, you spend more time with the kids than their own family do with them, you know, and then they grow to you, and then all of a sudden you have to say bye and go your separate ways, not knowing if they're okay, if they slept hungry, or if they're fine. You don't know. You just go your separate ways, and that's it. So yeah, thanks guys for tuning in. That was my story, first edition of Johnny Thailand stories. This is the Thailand story playlist. Um, my plan is to do this venture because I've been to over 20 countries, man. So the plan is to do different, like this is the Thailand series, but it's to do like Japan series, to do Colombia series, to do England series, everything. But for now, this is the Thailand series, and it's about Johnny, a good friend of mine that I met. We became brothers. We spent good time together. No one wanted to go near him. No one wanted to give him an opportunity, but you know, I did, and I realized that it was a cool ass dude, man. We just hit it off, and I helped him get home. Helped him get home one night, and he gave me like a bromance hug. Yo, what's up, Jai? All right, cool. And I didn't know, and he said bye to me, and I didn't know it was bye bye. I thought it was like see you later, but it was actually bye bye. And that's the thing they don't tell you about traveling is you meet so many cool ass people, and you don't know you know that you're never gonna see them again. That's what I don't tell you about traveling, guys and girls. Like, you meet so many good acquaintances, and you never see them again. And I just look at him. I think about this bloke Johnny. and I think of racism. I think of Crash, the film, prejudices, preconceived notions, ignorances, and I just realized that it's all a facade, man. And this bloke was really cool, man. Really, really cool. And I just didn't know. I was saying bye to him, man. That's guy my bro, man. Guy was my bro, my brother, man. Respect to you, bro. So Johnny, if you're listening, reach out to me, message me, whatever, man. We have a beer together, mate. But like you gave me and you told me that famous quote from the man that created the atomic bomb, I created death. There's life after death. And life goes on, bro. Life goes on. The amount of people that are dying, there's always loads of people being born. Life is being created all the time. Life after death, always, bro. Travel shortcuts, live to live, not live to survive. And if you do bump into someone that you bond well with, stay in contact with them. Get their number, try to get more. Or if you can't get much, just appreciate the moment and the time you spend with them. Because you just really never know if you ever get to see them again. You know. Johnny, man, respect to you, bro. All my friends thought you were an idiot, creep, ludicrous, bizarre, serial killer, whatever. But I didn't want to judge you, man. I gave you the opportunity to prove me wrong, and you did, man. And that's what it's all about: breaking stereotypes, barriers, and preconceived notions, man. Travel shortcuts, live to live, not live to survive. Respect to you, Johnny, man. And that's why I sit down with anyone now. I sit down with racists. I sit down with people that think of me bad auras, witchcraft, voodoo people. I sit down with them. You know why? Because I'm a converter. I want to convert you. I want to prove you wrong. I want you to go home and think, actually, that's what I want, man. Travel shortcuts. Live to live, not live to survive. If you do have time to watch the stream, thank you for watching. More coming soon. Stay tuned. Travel shortcuts. Peace.